name is Josie Mpoyo, and I'm a mother of Axel Mpoyo. I came all the way from United States, Idaho, Boise, to support him for the playoffs game.
That is what we do, man. You got it. I told you. You do whatever you want. All night long.
What it is, we get in the United States in 2000, back in 2000. And so Axel was 3 years old. And his brother was 6. And my daughter was born there. And then when we get there, we did not know much about the programs that they offer. And then I remember taking Axel to basketball with the little children, but I did not know he's interested in it. I just took him for fun. And he went. Obviously, I was working at night, my husband was working a day, so it was harder to be able to coordinate to take him for practices. At that time, we just stopped, because he was young. I did not know really if he was interested in it, since we didn't have much time to take him, to drive him to and back from the practice, so we did not follow up with it. And then when he was 8th grade, that's when we see his height was growing tall. And at school, he was playing every sport. He was doing wrestling, he was doing basketball, he was doing football. But then he started showing interest in basketball. And at that moment, because back home in America, a lot of kids start at a young age. At that time, for him, we see we were in trouble because he's interested. He never get a trained since he was young. So we had to work hard for him to put him in clubs and stuff. It was very expensive because they asked money to travel for tournaments, because we had to do it very quick as much as possible so he can be exposed to the skills that he may need to play high school ball. And then we did it, even though it was not easy, but we did it all that time. We traveled from Las Vegas to Dallas to pretty much like every state. So I was going with him because he was young, of course. You have to go with him. You have just to do everything you can. So that's when I have the love of the sport, because I have to be with him everywhere he goes. So at that time, he played basketball in high school, and he was good. He was not great where we wanted him to be, but he was good with his height, because he can dunk, he can do the full play in the court. And to me, it was fun. It was like, I was so proud of him, seeing where he came from and what he can do. It was very amazing. And then at that point, usually when we do that, we expect maybe the child to be able to go to college for free, because if you have the college and you're good at the sport, they can pay your tuition. So at that time, we did not know, but he worked hard for it. He worked hard for it. He will look some program, he will come and let us know, and we will try our best to finance him for him to be able to go participate in those programs. And that's where he came from. So at the last minute, we saw the college start coming home, talking to us. They were interested in him. And he played in one junior college in Colorado. And after that, that's when he played for D1, Grand Branch State University basketball. And all that time, it was hard for me as a mother because I wanted to be there, right? But I try once in a while to go see his games and support him, so he see that I'm there for him, because he was working hard for it. And that's when one time they just saw the video in Rwanda, and I'm from Rwanda originally, and they started requesting him to come, and that's how he ended up here. I remember one time I was in the student section in high school, just student section, like the way I did here. I was at the student section, cheering with the student, just chanting, and then they will chant what I'm chanting, and it was fun. The kids get used to it, and they love it. When they know my voice, they know I'm there. And then it gives them the power, to do better, not to let me down, because they know mom is there. Mom is saying this. Because I kind of know, because I've been around basketball for so long, so I can know like the fouls or all the moves and stuff. So I would just chant some of them. Hey, do this, drive to the basket. Don't just shoot it. Outside doesn't work, just drive to the basket. So they kind of like understand and they do it. The other day, Axel said, Mom, I can hear you were there. So it kind of, give like proud for them to know you're there, you're supporting them, and they do better because of that. Of course, it does play a big role when a parent is supporting you to whatever you're doing. I think that's what a lot of parents in Africa, they don't understand. The other day, I have a young boy came to me, he's like, man, I love you so much because my mom came to the game because of you. So I wish like a lot of parents will see that as like a building support for their children. Because I know in Africa, they don't understand it because sometimes kids may want to do it and the parents will yell instead of supporting, instead of like looking at the ways to take those children to where they need to be, they will yell at them. You need to go to school, you need to do this. Yes, I understand. It goes hand in hand. School and basketball, that's what I think maybe the program they may need to elaborate over here, because back home in the United States, when you don't have a good grade, you don't play. You sit at the bench until your grade is great. So you have to combine both of them. They go hand in hand, they go together. So that's the program maybe the country in the whole needs to develop. So maybe if they play, I don't even know if you guys here they play high school competition, because that's something else will be good. Because if the child is going to be playing basketball, they wait until they're 20 to be able to go play in the teams around here. They're going to be okay, but they're not going to be great. That's why I've been telling a lot of children I see they play, go to the academy. There's a lot of academy I've heard. I haven't visited them, but I heard there's academy for basketball. Go there, see if you can play. I know sometimes they may need to pay money, but like even the academy may need to have a sponsorship. So, and then look at the income, see, okay, these parents don't have money, but the child is talented, or the child want to be there, and they can help a little bit. There's a part of the parents, there's a part of the academy, and then that support the child to grow and then playing the sport they love and be great at it. So I have 4 children in the whole. Axel is the second. My first one didn't really play ball or sports. He did a little bit of football, American football, but he did not stay in it because he was more academics. That one is like chemical engineering somewhere. But like Axel played basketball. But because we see the downfall that came when Axel was interested, so we learned from it. So the other 2 siblings, Josie Mpoyo and Mary Mpoyo, which is my daughter, Joseph is 21, Mary is 20. They're both playing basketball right now at college level. So we learned what happened to Axel, and we learned that we could have done better. We started them when they were 4 years old, in the 4th grade. They started going to the clubs. They played clubs, they were traveling. I was with them. Sometimes it's hard because they were both the same grade. So sometimes I go with my daughter and my husband, we go with Joe, because they both had tournaments at the same time sometimes. But like right now, they're both playing college basketball. I know they just want, everybody's requesting them to come play here, but like they need to finish the school first. It does really add the value to the child, because when I do that, when they were doing that, they're busy. They're very busy. They don't have a time to go around, goofing up, doing stupid stuff, or like, they were coming from school at 3 p.m. They come home, they sit, either they sleep or they do homework. At 6, they have a practice. Sometimes practice is 2 hours. They finish 8. 8, they come home, they're tired, they sleep. Tomorrow again, school is a routine. So really, they don't have a time for even the TV, because sometimes nowadays you can see the TV is not a good asset for children, for young kids growing up, because they can watch the show that don't even really help them for the school or for the value that we want to see. You know, you see sometimes kids watching the show and they try to act the way the actor on the show is doing, and it's not respectful, you know what I'm saying? So when you pull them in sports like that, they don't really have a time for that. I think that's the big value that it kind of adds to where you want your kids to be or where you wanted them to go. I think it depends how involved you are with your children. Because what I was doing myself, I've given my time off for that. I never have a day off. I was already doing my day off around the children. Like in my vacation time, I never go to vacation. My vacation time was around my kids' schedule. When I would take a vacation from work, only when I know my daughter has, you know, tournament somewhere in Las Vegas where I'm gonna go spend 3-4 days without work. So I would take my vacation for that. Or when I know my son is having a tournament somewhere out of state for so many days, the same thing I did with Axel. So I would take a day off from work. So I didn't really have it off. It's a sacrifice. You know, it's a sacrifice. You know, like I tell people all the time, you don't just put the kids and just throw them there. You have to be involved in it. You have to be involved every step of the way for their success. So that's how I was managing it. Right now I came here, I didn't take off for so long, and I knew the playoff was coming. And what I did, I took a month and a half, because I've been here since August 8th, because I knew it's gonna start on the 11th. So I planned around it to be able to be here for the whole playoffs. So it was a month and a half. It's not easy to have at work, but like they have to manage, because it's my time and I can use it how I wanted to use it. You know, I can say something, but like it's gonna show like because it's my son. But I know Axel has, you know, like a passion of winning. You know, and I was talking to him. I talk to him all the time. You know, and he knows when something goes wrong, he comes to me. So, and I'll tell, okay, did you see what the game? Because after the game, we'll talk. We'll say, okay, how do you think it went? You know, this was wrong. This was wrong. You gotta have to do this. You have to change this. It's like, Mom, okay, I know. And then we will talk about, you know, the game. Pretty much, I'm advising, you know, I'm his advisor, I guess. But the dad too is, you know, he was here for a couple weeks. He saw 2 games, but he had to go back to work. But, you know, we usually like advise him on what we see, because we can see when you're outside, you can see in the court, see what you do. So we see Axel going too far, because he loved the game. He's in the gym all the time. He knows what he needs to be able to win. He knows, because you have to be physical, right? Not all of them has that physicality. You have to look for it. You have to be in the gym. You have to be lifting, you know, the weight all the time. You know, do the squat, do a lot of, you know, gym work to be able to be where he's at. And a lot of work he did himself to get where he's at. Like I told you, he started a little later than his siblings, but he is excelling in a way that you can't even imagine. So I'm just so proud of him. He made me proud as a mother, you know, because he has the love of the game. Last time when they were playing with Ray, because I said, well, it tells me that everywhere Axel goes, they have a victory. Because you know he played for Ray a couple seasons and they got a championship. Now he comes to APR, they got a championship. So for me, I'm like, you know, I can see the light, you know, of victory in him, because that's what he did. Because you can see when you watch him last game, I can see, but they were too close, and he's telling his, you know, teammates like, time is coming. So we have to do what we can do to win the game. So that's his spirit. And I can see that in the last game, because he was like, we need to do something, because it was tough. It was going like, you know, 1 point, 2 point, 3 points, but like he came in, he was determined, he was ready, he was just like, attacking the rim, get to the free throw line, you know, jumping, and they start shooting the three, and I say everything is here, so you have to be confident, and they start going down. Man, I was like, this is it. As a mother, I was just so proud. I just didn't know, you know, how to express it, but it was just like, man. And then when he went down, I was like, no, now what? You know, because like when they tripped him, he fell down and he got out. As a mother, of course, you just feel like, what happened? And then he was taking too long outside, but I tried to contain myself. And it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. Because that's what I do with all my kids. When they go down, I say, hang tough. Hang tough, you're gonna be better, you're gonna be okay. So the spirit, it says, okay, my mom saw it, and then I'm gonna be okay. And he went outside, and they banned him, and he came back in. I was like, yeah, that's my baby, you know? So when he comes back in, like at 2 a.m., he sent me the picture, and indeed, he got like a deep wound. They had to stitch it. He's like, Mom, do you think they can stitch it? I said, yeah, it's so deep. So he has to go 4 a.m., they can put stitches on it. It was deep, it was, you know, but I'm glad he did not feel it that moment because he knew he wanted to win. What I can say, like as a mother, you have a children growing up, it's better to just listen to them. Listen to them, listen to what they want to do, and then be there for them. Don't just leave them alone, because that's where it comes when kids feel like they want to leave the house. They feel like they're not having supportive argument or parents, so they want to just get out. But like when you support them, they know they have somebody there. They know they have a parent who understands them. Usually they will tell you all their secret. They will tell you all you wanted to hear, and you understand what the life the child is going through. But if they're not telling you, you don't know how to advise them. All that comes with the bonding, with the closeness you need to have as a parent to your children, especially when they play sport. I know parents here in Africa, sometimes you go to sport, you come hurt, they beat you up, they put you in timeout, they just ground you. But like, you know, that's normal. They need to understand that's normal. That's a part of growing up as a child. You're gonna be hurt, you're gonna have scratches, it's a normal. So they need to take that as a normal kids growing process, you know, and then they need to be there when they go to the games. Don't just send them, drive them. If you don't have a way to drive them, just go leave them and come back. Sometimes, like you said, it may be hard because the work people do, but at least you try your best. You try what you can, so the children sees that they have somebody to support. And those children who are there, who have a dream of being basketball players, they need to work hard. It doesn't come overnight. It's a work in process. So they need to go to the gym. They need to find academies out there that can help them. So that's how they're gonna get better. That's how they're gonna gain competition, like where we just went through, you know, last week. So it would be like they needed to work hard to get what they need to get. You know, it's gonna come from them too, because if you don't do it yourself, nobody's gonna do it for you. So they need to look the resources, you know, the resources everywhere. And then, you know, mothers, because I was proud when one guy came to me, he's like, I love you so much. Because I have a lot of people, a lot of love, actually. A lot of people will come after the game, they will come, they say, oh, I love you so much. I say, I love you more, you know, because I see like I'm inspiring them. Maybe there's some parents who want to do it, but maybe they shy, maybe they're ashamed what people are gonna say, what people are gonna think about me. You just need to think, what do I need to do for my child? Not what the people are gonna think about you, not how people are gonna see you. Think about what my child is gonna think when I'm there cheering for them, what my child is gonna get out of me cheering for them. It's love, right? Because you show them love, they're gonna know how to show love to others. You know, there's a lot of lessons to it. You know, so I think I'm just glad. So some parents were able to come to watch the game because they saw me. Because this kid came and was like, you know, my mother came to the game, the last game, because I told her about you. And then she said, okay, I want to go. She came to the game. I said, I'm glad she was able to come. I know it's going to be a working process because, so what I do is like in me, you know, is in me. It's something that, like I say, I did since they were young. Axel is now 26, so I did it when he was like middle school. Think about it. So it's something is in me, and then his siblings did the same thing, and I was the same person with them. So it's a working process. It takes time. I'm not saying that they're gonna want to do it and then it comes now, but they need to learn slow by slow how to be supportive of their children in sports, how to be like close to them. And you know, and then like the academy need to know what kids we have for talent, you know, because that's another way too. The academy need to go look for children, because I see some children in the court, they're just shooting. I don't know if did they have where they shoot or it's just there, ends there. You know what I'm saying? So the academy sometimes needs either to do like the advertisement, say, okay, we are here. If your child need to learn how to play ball, we can help. So they can like, you know, be awareness of like those programs out there, because the country has done itself, you know, what they're supposed to do, right? You know, like before I finish, I just want to thank the president of this country, you know, because he has done a lot. When I come here, I see like basketball is like advancing more than other countries, you know. Because like I was born in Burundi, and I love Burundi, so why you didn't bring him here? I said, no, I don't think there's anything. You don't even have a court, right? Because when you come here, you see that court, man, it's just like a bigger than even like the state university of where I live. So it's just like the president has done his part, and I like it the way he supports like youth, and then the sports in all the corners. Like I see the stadium they're building. So it's gonna be like huge in a few years, I can tell. So really, parents need to do their work, because the president, the country has done their work. So the rest, because it's the teamwork, I see as a teamwork. So the president the country has done its work. You know, they're building the court. Now I heard there's another court in Mirambo they just built. So like there's so many courts everywhere. So if you fail, you're not gonna blame nobody but yourself. So really, I can see that as a teamwork, you know. And then finish like thanking the president for everything he's doing for this country, because the country, like there's a lot of people comes in the court. I see a lot of, you know, strangers come from outside. They were full in the court. So that's like a pride, you know, like I see those people coming to watch the game in Rwanda. So it's just like, you guys should be proud of like what you do. And I see a lot of cameras there. Like it's like the same style that I've seen like in America, right? We're growing, we're getting there, man. You know, we'll be fine, we'll be good. You just keep working, keep doing what you do, all of you. And I thank you guys for having me. Really, you know, it's my pleasure to be able to be here and to keep doing what you do. It's gonna help the world to know who we are in this country and what we can do.